So I've done a marathon, I've done a century ride before, I've done ultra marathons, I've done a half Ironman and a full Ironman, and I've never done a 20-hour training week before. Now there's nothing necessarily wrong with this. If you want to do any of those events, I genuinely believe you don't need to do 20 hours of activity per week on a consistent basis. I didn't do nearly that. I usually did about 12 to 15 hours a week for many of those at most, and I turned out just fine. However, I have a marathon coming up in Newmarket, New Hampshire. It's in about 10 weeks, and I currently have a sprained ankle down here. My left foot, not doing so great. So as a solution to this, I'm going to try doing my first 20-hour training week ever. Now recently I had been doing a fair bit of running, and by fair I mean 20 miles a week. Not nearly enough for marathon training, but I'd been doing a buttload of cycling, probably about 200 miles a week of that. And I thought, given that I can't run and that I'm definitely in pretty good cycling shape, the best thing I can do for myself is try to push myself as hard as I can on the bicycle, the thing I can do, and at the very least ensure I have strong legs for once I am recovered. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try doing a 20-hour training week. So what are the ground rules for this? Well, there really aren't many. I'm gonna let myself ride whatever bike I want. I'm gonna let myself swim if I need to, do some pool running if I need to, lift weights, do TRX, any of that. Anything's fair game. I just want meaningful work, so things that will add to my overall cardiovascular fitness or muscular fitness that will assist me for the marathon. I want to do those things for 20 hours this week. And yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this video, is I'm gonna try and accomplish that. My thoughts on how I'm gonna do this is basically I'm gonna spend as much time as I can on my bicycle without losing my mind. So I'm thinking at the very least probably 3 or 4 3-hour days, and then I'm gonna fill in the remaining time with a very, very long ride, probably around 100 miles. Currently, I'm thinking that for this ride, I'll be going up to the top of Mount Wachusett. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if I feel up to it. We'll see if I am on my way there, and at mile 40, I feel like I might not make it back home. So that's the plan. I just want to do a 20-hour training week. So not much else to say. I'm gonna give it a shot, and yeah, here's day one. First ride. 13 minutes in, and already a pretty large detour. All right, first ride of the 20-hour week. I'm on my Marin nail trail, hardtail as usual, and I'm riding right now near Concord, Massachusetts. I'm going down the narrow gauge rail trail. I was gonna do Beaver Brook, but I decided since I haven't ridden in a couple days, I should start with an easier but long day. So I'm going for 3.5, maybe 4 hours. Just riding my hardtail, doing my best to stay easy at 12 to 14 miles an hour. Today's just about making sure I start the week without getting exhausted and above pace in terms of time, because today I can spend a little more time. So I want to make sure that if something comes up later this week, I am on pace to do 20 hours. All right, turning around real quick. I don't know if you can see it. I'm at 20 miles on my watch. So I'm heading back home. All right, riding at night on the rail trail in Concord. Got my Cyclolite Ranger 1200 on. It's been doing well for the 2 weeks I've had it. And I've been doing a lot of night riding because of how hot it is, so it's a really good time. Heading home in the dark. It's about 8:30 p.m. I'll probably be home at about 9:40 p.m. All right, getting ready to get in the shower. Went 40 miles, 3 hours and 7 minutes of moving time, and 160 watts average, probably a little less, 1,250 calories, almost 13 miles an hour, and of course a high relative effort. Hello, Exposition Taylor here. So as you can see, day one went mostly according to plan. I rode over the amount I needed to ride, so over 3 hours, that's great. I didn't go too hard, so my legs were not fatigued. However, I did make one crucial mistake, and that was when I got home. As you saw, I pretty much immediately beelined for the shower. I should have eaten. I decided to opt out of eating dinner that night because I was tired and it was late. It was almost 10 p.m. I didn't want to affect my sleep by eating, and did about the dumbest thing I could do, which is I didn't carb up for the long ride the following day. You'll see that comes back to bite me. All right, I'm riding along the Mystic River, like 2 miles into the second ride of the week. Just trying my best to take it easy, trying to avoid hills, and trying to hydrate as much as possible. I'm trying to knock time off my ride tonight so we can actually be in attendance for dinner this evening. All right, 14.1 miles, 9.7 miles an hour, a lot of mountain biking, 570 calories, and it took about an hour and 27 minutes. I don't know how much of that it was moving time, but I'm gonna do 2 more hours later, and that should put me a decent amount ahead of the curve. I'm sweaty, it's almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Not enjoying this today, but tomorrow and the following days are gonna be a lot cooler. I'm going to be making Whole Foods margarita pizza, thin crust, for lunch today. So what you just saw was the first ride of the second day, and by all accounts, that first ride went quite well. It was between an hour and a half and 2 hours. It put me ahead of the curve so that later that day I could do a slightly shorter ride and still end up ahead of the curve with more than 3 hours on the table. Fantastic. And I even tried to make up for my lack of dinner that night by eating an entire pizza for lunch. However, it does not work that way. You can't just eat your carbs whenever. They need time to sort of soak in to your legs. And my efforts to make up for my lack of carb loading the prior night did not work. You're gonna see that in the next clip, where I am absolutely miserable doing some night riding that evening. It's about 5:30, 5:40 p.m. I'm on my second ride of the day. Again, on the mountain bike, watching YouTube videos. Looks like it might rain. I wouldn't mind that. It's a heck of a lot cooler than it was earlier. It's like 85 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. And yeah. All right, 11.7 miles, turnaround point. Gonna head back home. All right, standing here in the basement. I did 24 miles approximately, let's look. 24.36 miles, about 12 miles an hour, 2 hours, 37 minutes of moving time. And it seems to think 6 hours of recovery. And I'm gonna have to come up with what I'm calling creative solutions to get 3 hours in tomorrow. But as of now, my plan is just to suffer through it. And yeah, get to 9 hours so that, oh, sorry, 10 hours tomorrow. Wow, I can't think. So that I can do 2 hours and then a rest day and then a century and then 1 hour somewhere else and wrap up the week. But yeah, 7 hours in 2 days, I'm starting to feel it, if you can't tell. All right, for dinner, I'm going to be making some brown rice with some grilled chicken for the lady, fried chicken for me because I can't help myself. Who knows, maybe I'll go with grilled, we'll see. I'm gonna be making an air fryer and I'm gonna fill this entire stein up with liquid IV and drink it. And hope that tomorrow I wake up with unchafed legs and feeling hydrated and well carbed. I don't know, here's to hoping. Things are feeling weak right now. It's Wednesday morning, 8:20 a.m. And just a quick update, I do not feel great. My right knee kind of hurts and I'm pretty sore all over. I have a bit of a cough. Perhaps this is what happens when you're not used to doing 3 hours of cardio a day, and then you do it in 2 days in a row. I see, and I can't even talk. All right, so day 3, Wednesday, I'm planning on a 3-hour ride. I'm feeling more fresh mentally than I was yesterday, but physically I'm a little bit sore. I'm gonna go try and do 3, maybe a 4-hour bike ride. Basically just gonna see how I feel and do exactly what I feel like. More is better though in my mind, because I want to be able to take as much time off the bike as possible before my century. All right, I'm on the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail again. On the road bike today, the Cannondale SuperSix Evo. Watching some more YouTube videos, trying to put in the mileage. Trying to do 3 hours today, more if I can. However, doing more might be a little bit rude because I should be home in time for dinner. Currently at about 1 hour and 10 minutes and about 17 miles, just trying to see how I handle the road bike. I've been on the mountain bike for so long that it feels kind of weird, but I've been able to do 1 hour and 10 minutes in the drops, which tells me my flexibility is still there. I'm averaging like 14-ish miles an hour, which is nice. Could go a bit faster, but I'm tired. Just wanted to switch it up, try a new position, given I'd ridden the mountain bike for 3 days. All right, 23 miles in 1 hour and 35 minutes. I'd like to add 35 minutes onto the end just to make sure my moving time is absolutely above 1.5 hours. And I'm gonna ride home, nice and easy. The Bruce Freeman Rail Trail is really a treat. All right, once again, post-ride update. 46.07 miles at 14.7 miles an hour, not bad. 3 hours and 8 minutes. 15 hours of recovery. I feel better than yesterday, which does not mean I'm excited to exercise tomorrow. I definitely think eating just loads of carbs. I ate ice cream, I ate pasta, I ate spaghetti, I ate fried chicken, just everything under the sun in the past 24 hours. I think that definitely helped. And I put more Gatorade in my water bottle, which I also think helped. The following 2 days, Thursday and Friday, I focused mainly on recovery and making sure I was well stretched and well prepared for the 100-mile ride. I didn't do any significant distances, I didn't do anything hard. I just did the bare minimum to do constructive workouts that added towards my fitness and added towards the time for the week, and additionally would put me in better shape for the start of the ride on Saturday morning. Gonna do a bit of TRX right now on the pull-up bar in the backyard. Just gonna try and do like 30 minutes of this just to get myself worked out and do a bit of stretching too, so that tomorrow or whenever I decide to work out again and do my 8-hour ride, I'm feeling a lot better than I did this morning. I take no responsibility for how bad my form is or how I look like I probably don't do TRX much. I'm a cyclist and almost a runner, so not the lifting type. Yep, for better or worse, also gonna go for some chicken nuggets. This is not gonna be enough food. This, however, is going to be too much, which is perfect. All right, forgot the GoPro, so this video is getting filmed on my camera, riding the mountain bike, just going like super slow, like 10 miles an hour around the block, like a 30-minute ride, trying to do a little recovery ride. I don't know, more so just trying to save myself effort that I'd have to do later this week. Quick video, quick ride. Alrighty, putting my bike away. Did 10.7 miles, 1 hour and 1 minute.
0 hours of recovery, and come on, cycle. 10.5 miles an hour, so probably didn't burn any more than 300 calories. Just actually feeling quite good, and yeah, wish I could do more, but I'm stopping at an hour for the day. And I'm happy I did that much, so this plus TRX, hour and 20 minutes. That's a decent chunk added on to the week.
All right, so I'm out here. I thought I'd do a quick recording of what I did on Friday, the day before the 100-miler. I'm planning to do it Saturday so that if all goes awry, Sunday, I will have ample time left to complete my 20-hour week. I'm on my Marin trail here, just doing a ride around the block. What did I eat for the night before? Very carb heavy. I ate Chinese food, so lots of white rice with some chicken, basically, and obviously Chinese sauces, but nothing too bad. Very carb heavy, which, to be honest, is my preference in the first place. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of spin out the legs a bit. Yesterday I did that 1 hour ride on the bike, very easy. Today I'm doing about the same effort, but just for 15-20 minutes before bed. So my plan for tomorrow is still to ride 100 miles on the route to Mount Wachusett. Now, whether or not that route actually happens is up for debate still, but my plan is to ride out there. It should be about 50 miles at the peak of Mount Wachusett, and then ride back, and I will end the ride at approximately like 102 miles, but pretty darn close. So it was the day before my 100-mile ride, a thing that I hadn't done in 6 years. I was, to say the least, a bit nervous, but at this point I'd committed to it. Not only did I just tell Twitter, but I told my girlfriend, my family, people at Park Run, a lot of people I cared about. And they were looking forward to hearing me brag about my 100-mile ride the next week. So how could I deny them that? Anyways, it was happening. And to be honest, I think I did quite well in my preparation for it. I was diligent with my rest the days prior, and also with my stretching to prepare for that ride. And additionally, I ate probably about the perfect thing. A little bit of protein with a whole lot of carbohydrates. And I didn't really stop at Chinese food, like I said. I ate plenty of sweets that night too, which helped me immensely. All that was left was to sleep well and make sure I was prepared for my ride in terms of the equipment I would be bringing along. I'm about to head off. It's 11:39 a.m. About to go do 100 miles. The bike's pretty packed down today. I've got a phone charger, you can see, hooked up here to my phone. I've got a sleeve of cookies in here, the power brick charging it, my pump. I've got a spare light in here just in case, which I hope is not going off because of how packed it is. A spare tube. I've got another spare tube back here, a multi-tool, a pair of glasses, clear glasses in case I'm riding into the night, rear light, front headlamp. Obviously my phone for directions because I don't know the course and I'm using the Strava route. I've got this water bottle on my bike, second water bottle in my bib. And I'm going to be bringing the GoPro to document it all, so pretty crazy. I'm going to really quickly put some WD-40, the lubricant, not the solvent, on the back here. Alright, mile 10 of 100 approximately. I don't know what's going on over here. I feel great. Just following the Strava route that I made. Gravel Wachusett. You're welcome to use it too. Alright, 90 more miles to go. Alright, in Concord, Mass. Beautiful Concord, Mass. Tried to stop to use the restroom, but the men's rooms were closed, so I'll have to find an alternative at some point. Oh well. Alright, I'm in Acton, Massachusetts. The only reason I know is from that church. I'm at 20-ish miles, just under an hour and a half. Took a little while
to get out of the city, or the proper city of Boston area, which is slower, but I'm here. I feel pretty good. Trying to figure out if I'm going right or left here. So, it's been about an hour and a half. That's the frequency at which I'm planning to eat, so I'm gonna pull over whenever I find a good spot, maybe a park, quiet park, and gonna eat some food. Alrighty, I'm in Heath Hen Conservation Area. I don't actually know where it is. I'm at 1 hour and 46 minutes, and how long? 24.5 miles. Setting up the bike real quick, just eating some cookies, drinking some water, taking 3-4 minutes off the bike and taking a wee. More ponies. Holy smokes, they're cute. And stinky. Almost 38 miles, 2 hours and 42 minutes. Near Mount Wachusett. All right, I'm at 46 miles. Hopefully you can see that. Here's the map. I am like a mile or two away from Mount Wachusett. I'm pretty tired, to be honest. It went from like kind of hilly for a lot of the ride after I got through Acton to like hilly. And I'm not even at the worst of the hills yet. With Mount Wachusett being the biggest bad boy of them all, probably at the least double what I've done up to this point. So yeah, about to get my butt kicked. I don't feel great, but I don't feel bad. But considering I have 50 miles left to go, I'm looking forward to being done with Mount Wachusett. All right, what you see above you, pretty sure is Mount Wachusett in the flesh. I'm tired. All right, so I'm heading up Mount Wachusett right now. Bike's going strong. Hopefully I don't need to put it in the super low gears because I hear it clicking against the rim right now, against the spokes, which means I must have hit a bump or shifted wrong or something and messed up my derailleur. It's no matter. I just have to hope it doesn't get too steep because I'm without my lowest gear now. But it looks way better than the roads I rode to get here. So here's to hoping it stays that way. Just a little bit of work to the top and then I get to turn around. Hello. You gotta go all the way back to Boston. I'm not enjoying this right now.
You got it.
Thank you. I would say the mountain itself is way easier than the roads I took to get here. So much easier. It's just less steep. Way less steep. Right now I'm not even in the lowest gear and I'm just kind of putting down some easy power to go up. Now, had to take a second to step off the bike and take in this view. Holy, this is gorgeous. Exhausted, but this is it. All right, summited Mount Wachusett from Boston. And I don't know if you can even see it here. If you can't, I'm gonna zoom in very far. You can actually see Boston in the distance. I'm so screwed. And screwed I was. This, at this point, was my biggest ride in terms of elevation in years, and also one of my longer rides in years. I really don't ride that far that often, which is something I hope to change. Now, I'd been drinking a ton of water. I drank almost 4 bottles on this ride, so about 48 ounces of water. And I ate a whole sleeve of Goya Maria cookies and a gel. Despite this, I was just about to bonk. And you'll see in this next clip that I'm basically not entirely there.
My legs are able to spin, but that's all I can do. Because of this, I really didn't end up filming at this point. I legitimately thought it was a safety concern that if I started filming again during this ride, I might fall off the bike. So what you see next is the last remnant of that bike ride.
All right, it's mile 70, 5 hours and 21 minutes. I probably don't even have to tell you. I feel like hot garbage. I wish this bicycle would sprout off the engine and briefly become a motorcycle, because I am so sick of pedaling right now. Yeah, not a lot to say. I'm in right. I gotta focus on biking. 3420 calories, very high average heart rate, 7 hours and 29 minutes, and 100 miles. I am stoked.
So, as you can tell, at the end of that ride, I sounded like a completely different person. I had no energy left in my body. I was just exhausted, had a slight emotional breakdown as I pulled into my driveway, and just recorded what the results were, and then called Yasmin to help me take my bike down 3 steps into the garage. Yes, it was that bad. So anyways, that was it. I was at about 19 hours of activity for the week. All that was left was a very easy spin on the bike the next day, and that was the week. That was my first 20-hour training week. So to conclude this video, I would like to give you some insight into what I thought was important to accomplish my first 20-hour training week, what I thought was hard, what I thought was easy, what I would do different, and what I thought was most important. So in terms of what was hard, I thought that it was incredibly difficult to, day after day, do 3 hours a day of activity when I wasn't used to it already. And dare I say, it was maybe a bad idea to stack it all one after the other. However, I also was unprepared for a 100-mile training week, so I needed, first and foremost, to make sure I was recovered for the event that I thought was going to be the hardest. And the thing that I thought was most valuable was exactly what leads into these day after day 3-hour days. That is nutrition. I really need to work on a nutrition strategy for repeating long days one after the other like this, so that I can actually do it. You'll see my second day, I was not well carbed up, and therefore I bonked pretty hard that day. However, the other days, I pretty much ate as much as I could before the rides, despite whether my body wanted to. This ended up creating pretty successful rides, especially the day of the century, which I consider a success just because I finished. Additionally, another thing I could have done a lot better throughout this whole process is just having trained more beforehand for similar distances. I don't recommend doing what I did and going from like 8-hour training weeks all the way up to 20-hour training weeks. I would start easing my way up, start with 8 and then go up to maybe 10, 12, then maybe a 15 or 16-hour week, and then go to 20. And do this over a long period of time too. Starting at 20-hour weeks might be a bit much for some people, and depending on what sport you're doing, could result in injury. Additionally, if I were going to do this again, I'd probably break it up into different types of workouts more. I wouldn't just do 18 hours on the bicycle and whatever else I did. I would probably do 5 of those hours in the gym. I would probably do some of those hours working on my skills, such as like pool running, so recovery and such. Yeah, not 18 hours of cardio again. I would not do that. So finally, what did I enjoy? What did I get out of this? For me, it really made me love cycling again. All of these routes that I was going on just because I felt like I had to this week, and the further distances I was going really made me enjoy spending time in new places and cycling on new roads I hadn't been on before, which was why I got into cycling in the first place. Additionally, this week, the week that I'm filming this and doing the editing, I have felt absolutely great on my bike rides. I've been not doing 3, 4, 5-hour rides, but I have been doing 1.5 hour, 2-hour rides, and I feel better doing them. I feel less tired. And I think that really goes to show the large benefits you can get from doing long distance and long time activities, and additionally how quick those benefits come on. This has made me rethink how often I want to incorporate long workouts into my training routine. And going forward, I think that's my main learning from this, is how important long workouts are to good cardiovascular fitness. For me, since I'm a runner and a cyclist, I think I value long workouts a lot more after this week, and I think that, and for this upcoming training season, I'm gonna work a lot harder to make sure my average workouts are a bit longer and that my long runs are extra long leading up into the marathon. Anyways, that was the video of my 20-hour training week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it and you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe for more content like this. If you like the video and don't want to subscribe, I encourage you to hit the like button. Neither of those options cost you anything, and they help me out a ton with the algorithm. Anyways, this has been Bye Bike Boston. I'll catch you next time.